Hello, my name is Carrie. I'm the community organizer with Northern Arizona Climate Change Alliance, and this is our 8th digital event this week, and our last one. So I'm super excited about that. It's been a long, exciting week, though. We have a video library of extraordinary digital events that you can see on our website. This will also be going up there tomorrow. So to make this more exciting, and because it's art related, I thought it would be fun if our family donated we have a home ceramic studio. So along with my full-time job with NASCA, we also have a ceramic business that we design artwork and we ship out to gift shops and galleries all over the country. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, it's just giving me a little thing, but it's all good. And show everybody what I've got. So this is a new addition to our Naked Earth meditation totems, chimes, and bells. And this is what our regular totems just had a single word on them, like harmony or love or peace, and these are what we now call our mantra totems, and they're significantly larger, and they can go in your house or in the garden. And so each one has a mantra, like one love or living earth, and you can get different designs. And so this particular one has the sun design. So I'm donating this as a raffle prize. So I'll be busy working on a raffle while the rest of everything is going on. But now I'm going to present my submission, and Nicole is the graphic designer for this. So, oh my goodness, hold on. Okay. This is my Earth Day doodle that magically turned into this beautiful graphic by Nicole Keegan. Deegan. So when I'm at meetings, for any of you that know me, I'm a doodler. It's just what I do. I'm thinking, I'm not ignoring. So I came up with this and I was like, this is what I love this. I want to see if I can make that happen. And I think I do this stuff all the time. It just never actually happens. So Nicole had come to one of our volunteer meetings and she was saying the things, how she could contribute to the organization, and she said, I'm a graphic designer, I can help with that. And so I just thought, well, I'll give it a try. And so I texted her this picture, and I wasn't sure if anything was going to come from it. And there had been a space of time that had gone by, and all of a sudden she sends me this beautiful graphic. We had to do a few little tweaks, thank goodness for the Raven, and we came up with all the R names. Like we thought we're very, very thoughtful about it. And her boyfriend helped us as well. We had a couple of beers, and then this is what happened. So I'm going to unshare my screen now before I do my other submissions, so that Nicole can say a few words. Let's spotlight Nicole.
Can you guys hear me? This is I feel really new to this stuff. Thanks. All I did was just take your design and make it, digitize it. Like, it was all your thing, but it was fun to work on, and I'm glad I could be a part of something. And I'm sad Earth Day was like canceled in person, but we'll do what we can, right?
Yeah, and Nicole's also on, I kind of changed the name of our team since we haven't met yet. It's food choices and land use. And so Nicole's on that one with us, and we were going to do a save our forest, or wait, no, save our soil booth about deforestation for Earth Day, but we're going to do it. Hopefully Earth Day will resume on August 29th, Saturday. So
awesome.
But do you have a graphic design business that you want to plug, or?
Well, I do, it's called Beans Design, and we do all kinds of stuff, just from graphic design to, we paint houses. We do everything, like anything with design, like it's crazy. So if you need anything, some remodeling or website stuff or brochures or whatever. And then I've been making vegan meals for people so that they can eat healthy. Like when they're in transition, a lot of times it's hard for them to do that. So I've been, that's art too, food art.
Yeah, it's funny because ever since I became a vegan, I actually cook now and I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I send pictures all the time to my daughter Anna, who's on this meeting. She's coming home in 10 days. She cannot wait to eat the food.
Awesome.
Yeah, I raised my kids on Costco as the chef, Kirkland, Chef Kirkland, but not anymore.
Right.
Right. Thank you, Nicole.
Thanks, you guys.
All right, I'm going to share my screen again and show you my next submission. So, so this inspirational piece came from, I took a hike out at Willow Lake and I found this special little spot. I had my two little dogs with me. It was kind of cold and I hiked up on the rocks and then all of a sudden it got really warm and I was like, I really want to take off my hiking shoes and my socks. And I just really got into this whole nature moment. And so I started walking around on the rocks and I looked down and there was all this broken glass. My first reaction was to get like, I was mad. And then I was like picking it up because I didn't want anybody else to do this. And I was like throwing it in the water like a fool. And I'm like, well, this is so pretty. It was beautiful. It was so shiny. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll save it and try to make something with it. So I took it home and I'm a master gluer, as Patrick knows. I gave his wife some gluing classes the other day when I was over at his house and they were putting out their yard art. But so I glued all these little pieces of glass and so that my daughter, Anna, could make a ring out of it. But it seemed to make a better pendant. So this is my submission, Trash to Treasure, Upcycle by Anna. She did the wire work. So she's starting a jewelry business that's kicking off here in quarantine. So Anna, do you want to say anything about this?
Sure. I'm Anna. I'm Carrie's daughter. I am currently in Brooklyn, New York. And I'm a dancer here in New York. And so being in quarantine has been tricky for me artistically. So I've started making jewelry with wire and beads. And so Carrie sent me that piece, and it was kind of fun to like play with something that had its own shape that I had to like work around. And the piece kind of just became its own, and it's currently in transit back to her, so she should be getting it shortly. But yeah, I also am making jewelry to sell too. And so I can put that in the chat box if anyone needs a Mother's Day gift.
Excellent. Okay, that's my presentation. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask.
Zuba wanted to know what kind of vegan food Nicole makes for people. I'm sorry if you already asked her that, but I think it's good for everyone to know because when I get home, when I go to Prescott, I don't know if I want to cook.
Okay, so I make really good buffalo wings out of cauliflower. I do a lot of like Buddha bowls. I make bomb vegan pizza because Miyoko's cheese is the best. They have the vegan moths and their butter is great too. It's still not healthy because it's coconut oil, but it's better than like an animal product. So that's good. And just all kinds of stuff, like anything that you can make. Like, what does that sound? Anything you can make, I can make vegan. I can make anything better than you. It's so much better. It's so delicious, and you know it's healthy. There's don't cook with oil. Use a little bit of salt just because it brings out the flavor, but no sugar, oil definitely. Tiny bit of salt, but like pink Himalayan salt, so it's cool.
You don't cook with oil either, Nicole?
Nope.
Wow.
I can't eat an onion ring. I can't eat anything that's deep fried. It grosses me out. Yeah.
That's next level. I'm so impressed. I'm bowing down.
Yeah, you can still make things taste delicious. Yeah, just use like fruit juices or different vinegars, all kinds of vinegar, give flavor. Yeah. Actually, there's a cooking class you could take at Ruby, Rouxbe, and it's a Forks Over Knives plant-based cooking course, and I think it's like under $500. And it's all these different lessons on how to cook without oil, salt, sugar, and animal products. So it's really cool.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Ren is asking, what, Carrie, are your next projects?
Gosh, I feel like I'm in therapy now. I don't know, Ren. What are my next projects? I am literally taking 3 days off with my computer off. I know that you appreciate that. I'm putting together a vegan, this is a project, I consider this an art project. I'm putting together a vegan binder that has my, all the recipes like in plastic sleeves. And then I cut out all these really cool images while I was doing that. And I saved them and I'm going to collage them on the front of the binder. So it's super cool. So, and then my yard. I mean, I cannot wait to get out there and start working on that. I don't want to say I'm a gardener because I just have one little planter that I grow things in, but we have xeriscape, so I rake my rock like a Buddhist monk. So that's it. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. It's like the Zen gardens. Cool. Anybody else have any questions? You can raise your hand if you want. You can also go ahead and unmute yourself. Cool. All right. So our next artist, I'm gonna share my screen for them. They are not here tonight. Ooh. So I don't have a description of their products, but I just wanted to go ahead. They took the time to submit and let you guys see what's up. And maybe make your own interpretations off of how this could relate.
Are we all supposed to be reading that, Annie?
I'm not a good spoken word poet.
Come on, somebody here's got to be able to read that. It's so much work for me.
Maybe I can make it bigger. Can't. I'm trying to make it full screen without spoiling too much. Nope.
Wow.
And sit curiously on the toilet as they watch you flush your bowl of vomit, mimic a ballerina.
The sharp metal sticking out excites you.
Your cigarette perfume assumes your royalty to me. I loved, but you move so fast you forget your hammock in another state.
A lost honeycomb floating in the ocean. I slowly learn I'm somehow put in charge to guide a parade of fools hungry to swallow the moon.
I fill myself up with magic as I scream fairy tales every night. Dead artist hands applaud me. The dead bear from my dream mocks me as it dies in reverse every night. I cannot wait until my assimilation so I can reincarnate late.
I cannot wait until my assassination so I can reincarnate into a whale.
Thank you
Sergio.
for that. I like you guys' interpretation. Sorry, Grandma Jean, you shared your screen. And I would take Q&As for Sergio, but I have no answers on behalf of them. So I'm going to skip to our next artist, which is Alexis and Nolan. They are dancers with a studio in Prescott, and they have a pre-recording, which I'm going to play for them, and a little live dance, if they still want to do that we can follow along with. So let me pull that up.
So Nolan's also on the chat, so that he can talk to and he can just kind of introduce himself too. So just a really quick kind of rundown about who I am. My name is Alexis Niekamp, and I am currently your Miss Yavapai County 2020. And that's with the Miss America organization. So I go for Miss Arizona, hopefully in June. If not, they're just pushing back the competition to late September. And my social impact is arts in action. So that's keeping arts in the home, arts in schools, and just keeping arts all up in your hearts. So I am currently the owner of Lessons by Lexi Dance Studio. We have been open for almost 4 years. We'll be 4 years old June 1st. And I kind of wanted to just let you guys know, shed a light on kind of where we started. So we started in a 900 square foot space that had about 4 windows, and it was pretty dark in there. When I was growing up in California, I went to Marty's dance studio, and I danced there since I was 4 years old. Moved here when I was about 12. And in my dance studio, everything was absolutely amazing, but the thing that I remember the most was how big our windows were and how the ballet bar kind of scaled the windows. And so pretty much every single time we were doing our pliés, our relevés, everything under the sun with the ballet bar, we could always see outside. And I think that that was something that really inspired me to continue to always make sure that you can be outside and move at the same time, as well as still be inside and continue to kind of, even no matter what the weather is, you can still appreciate the earth and what it has to offer. So recently, about a year now, we moved into a bigger space. If you guys are familiar with the mall, it's the old Route 21 space. We've been in here for a year now. So we went from 900 square feet to 5,369 square feet. And we are now surrounded by windows so that all of our students can continue to see the earth as well as they are staying active within the arts. So I think pretty much when it comes to the video that you guys are about to watch, I wrote down a couple things just kind of that I was thinking about as we did this video, as well as when we were preparing for the video and how we kind of wanted to launch it. Obviously, this is tough and trying times for everyone, simply because it's not our way of life. We are meant to be out in the open and on earth and helping our earth. And so one thing that kind of I was looking into the other day was a quote, and I kind of want to read it to you guys. It's just a great reminder to continue to push through no matter what is going on, especially for the earth itself. So the quote is, "Isn't it ironic that earth and heart are spelled with the same letters? When you realize this, everything starts to make sense." So I want you guys to just think about that really quick, is that your love for the earth comes from your heart, and it pretty much says it right there. And so through our dance, we always just want everyone to realize that with the climate change and everything under the sun going on, is that things will always get better. Nolan, do you have anything to add?
Well, I think you basically covered most of it. One of the things, like, I know we went through a few different songs that we were thinking about for this, and I know I'm in my work
You're
uniform right now.
It's okay.
I'm at work right now, but I didn't want to miss it. So we went through a few different songs, and we landed on this song because of one of the live performances that had happened locally, not locally, bigger with like celebrities and stuff. And me being such a big Taylor Swift fan, I knew how hard it was for her to perform this song, that she was never going to perform it live because it connects to her mom having cancer. And so I thought it was such a brave moment for her to share that with us last week. And I thought it was, a lot of people take it as a sad song, but I see it as more hopeful because it's saying soon you'll get better. We're going to get through this. And we've had to, at the studio, we've been having to teach through Zoom. And it's not the easiest way to teach dance, but it's still a way that we can connect with our students. And so we really wanted to send basically like a love letter to our students and remind them that to stay active, like the earth right now, as much as we don't like what's going on, the earth is healing. And so reminding them that we need to stay active and we need to love the earth. And with faith, hope, and love, the earth can heal, we can heal. So yeah, that's what I have.
Okay, we're ready for the video.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So let me make it full screen before I. Okay, here goes.
The buttons of my coat were tangled in my hair. In doctor's office lighting, I didn't tell you I was scared. That was the first time we were there. Holy orange bottles, each night I prayed to you. Desperate people find faith, so now I pray to Jesus too. And I say to you, soon you'll get better. Soon you'll get better. You'll get better soon. 'Cause you have to. This won't go back to normal, if it ever was. It's been years of hoping, and I keep saying it because I have to. You'll get better. You'll get better. You'll get better soon. 'Cause you have to.
Awesome. Yeah, that's so awesome. Cool. I hope everyone could hear that all right. Does anyone want to ask or type any questions in the chat box for Lexi and Nolan?
I have a question. I can't raise my hand because I don't have that feature. But so do you do your own choreography, Lexi?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Nolan and I, that's what we strive for here at the studio. We like to teach really organically. That's another thing is it tends to, in the studio, you will start to notice throughout our June recitals and everything, if you were to watch a recital, our Tiny Tots class is not necessarily Tiny Tots. So what you would think is a Tiny Tot is maybe our beginning ballet. For example, we have like 4-year-olds in intermediate because they've been dancing with us so long already. So we base it off of skill level, not your age. So that's kind of where we make sure that our students are getting their full potential, and so that we even make them choreograph dances every single holiday so that they can actually do their own choreography in the future, because we're simply a chapter in their book, and maybe they want to open up a dance studio or help out the earth through arts later in life too. So that's why we're trying to set that example ahead of time so that they can practice their own choreography and continue on in that sense.
What kind of dance training did you get?
So at Marty's Dance Studio, I started when I was 4. I was in competitively ballet, Irish dancing, tap, hip hop, lyrical, and contemporary. And then when I moved here, I danced with Anna, actually. We danced at the same studio. We never were in the same classes, but we did dance together at the same studio, and that was Academy of Performing Arts, which everyone knows is the purple building if you've lived here long enough. And that was one of my absolute favorite experiences, simply because I always loved to TA, and I got to TA for the littles classes, which was super fun. There was one thing that I really wish we would have had at APA, which was more windows, because every single time we walked out of our class, our waiting room had windows, and we were always hanging out there. I will never forget when I was first there at the studio, one of the first people who did say hi to me and was very nice was actually Anna. And that's why I like to kind of continue on and help you guys out too, simply because it's hard moving to a new town, especially when you're starting middle school. You had to graduate 5th grade early. You had to test out, be ready. It was hard, new school, new town, new state, everything was brand new. And I think the coming togetherness is huge, especially for this town.
And you remember, you danced with Beth Pargas, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I was the office manager there for a short time when you and your mom would come through there.
Yeah.
I love it. Congratulations. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Debbie, Ren, and Neil all had their hand raised. So Debbie, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, I just want to say, wow, that was just fabulous, just beautiful, and the music was wonderful, and the choreography just amazing. Do you do any kind of recitals with your dancers that the public isn't like? Where would we go to find out about those?
So your best bet would probably be our Facebook page. It's Lessons by Lexi Dance Studio on Facebook. Lexi is spelled a little differently. It's Lexe. And we do a June recital every year. We're going on our 4th June recital. This year, it's Oh, the Places You'll Go, and kind of When I Grow Up. So it's all about what you're going to be when you grow up. For example, we have like little car wash employees that will be dancing. We've got, what else do we have? We have like Dr. Seuss songs. We have a lot of students who love to show off their talents. And we strive to make sure that all of our soloists at least have a piece of themselves within their solo, because we never really want to tell someone how to dance. It needs to come from your heart. And so I think that that's something with our shirts. Like I have my shirt on right now and it says, don't just dance with your feet, dance with your heart. And that's something that we try to encourage throughout all of our students. And we also have a motto called Wild and Untamed by Nature. And that's another reason why we kind of wanted to get involved with this Art Mojo too, is because nature is where we all started.
Thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to check it out more.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. Neil, you shared your screen. Was that a part of your question or hand raise?
But I do have a submission that I didn't know I could do previously, submit earlier. So I wanted to share it. I didn't know I saw it pop up, but now all I can see is myself. So I don't know what else to do.
If you want to wait just a few minutes, we can let the participants go, and then you're welcome to to post that and talk about it after the rest of the
Okay. I don't know how long I will stay. Doesn't matter, I guess.
No, go ahead and go now.
Your
Okay.
screen is sharing it. We can
All
we
right.
can all see it now.
So
Neil.
this is a painting I did back in March, and I was going to share it at Earth Day in the booth for Faith Network and for Unity Earth Care. The painting is called Where Once Was Water. And I painted it from a photograph that I took back in the mid-90s in northern Arizona area, somewhere around Payson or Upper Verde. And I was so fascinated by the sculpting that the water had done to the riverbed. And years later, I found it in my reference folder, and I thought it would be very appropriate to show it at the Earth Day booth. So what the history is that there was a fire in this area beforehand, and the forest is devastated by that and devastated by the lack of water. And so that makes a statement about our climate crisis. And yet in the distance, you may notice that the trees are still growing. So it is not without hope. And as our earth is not without hope. So that was my statement by making this painting.
That's wonderful. Don't forget to stop sharing your screen so we can go back to the.
Okay.
There. Thank you, Neil. That's wonderful.
It was awesome. Quick little intermission. Super cool. We'll have to outreach our submission form better next time so that everyone can submit if they want to.
Okay.
Cool, thanks. Ren, can I?
Hey, yeah,
Yeah.
I just had a question for Lexi. Thank you. That was really beautiful. I really love the dance and also your words about earth and heart and dancing from the heart. And I also dance. I do a lot more improv, and so I was wondering if you could talk about your process in choreography and how you like, especially when you're creating on different themes, like for this project, what your creative process is like.
Yeah, of course. So I'll have Nolan answer this too, because it's actually really cool because we have shared with each other kind of what our processes are. And honestly, Nolan and I, we're both teachers at the studio, but we are so different, like beyond, like it is so funny because like we're best friends, but like we're so different when it comes to dancing because he's a lefty and I'm a righty. And so we'll always fight about that, about which side the student is going to start on, because every single time he goes to the left, I go to the right, which kind of is what helps us kind of mix our minds together and perform pieces like this. So when it comes to me personally, creating is hard simply because you are your worst critic. And in dance studios, you know what we have is tons of mirrors. So what I like to do is I will listen to the song on repeat a good 5 to 10 times, depending on how hard the song is, like depending on what my choreography is. So if it's tap, it's a lot longer that I'll listen to it. But for example, a contemporary or lyrical piece like what we did listen to, we kind of just sat there and kind of just listened to the song and just talked through some things. it was really, this song actually came to us easier than any of the other choreography I feel like we have ever done together. Came to us, and I think it was because there was that underlying uncertainty about what's happening with our earth right now and what's around us. So my process simply is listening to the song multiple times on repeat, and kind of just going with it. Main thing, I don't like to look in the mirror when I'm choreographing, simply because when I mess up, then I get harder on myself. And I think that that's something that everyone tends to do, is you are your worst critic. But I think something always to remember is that making those mistakes and showing yourself those mistakes in the mirror helps you grow. And so I think that the growth that we see all around us with the earth right now, which is pretty awesome. If you guys are noticing, like, for example, people are walking around, and I've encouraged people to, on their hikes and their walks, like, take a trash bag with you, like pick up around you, and create kind of like a respect for the earth. And so I think that watching growth around you is huge, and kind of just taking a second to put yourself in everyone else's shoes when you're dancing is huge for me. So I try to kind of have an outer body experience in a sense. I know that was long, sorry. Nolan, you can talk now, because I'm gonna just keep
Okay. I know, I'm normally the one that babbles. But no, it's funny because when you're watching stuff that we've both choreographed, it is pretty funny to watch, because you can definitely tell what I've done and what she's done, like she said, because if I choreographed it, it's typically going to start with the left. If she choreographed it, starts with the right. But like she said, I listen to the song multiple times, and then I typically I sit there and I kind of just close my eyes and try to picture what my vision is for the dance. Not necessarily choreography, but like what story I want to tell. And that is, hey, yeah, I love the lefties. But I think, like she said, I think that's one of the reasons that this one took a lot less time than normal, because we normally we get along really well, and we kind of, when we're choreographing for each other, like for ourselves, we just kind of sync together really well. We just dance together really well. But we are also both very opinionated, to say. But with this song, we both just had that same kind of vision in our mind. And this dance, it was really cool how it came together, because we would get part of it done, and then we would just both start moving a little bit, and we weren't necessarily watching ourselves in the mirror, we weren't watching each other, and we would just be like, okay, I like that's exactly how it felt. And it just flowed. This was probably one of the coolest numbers to put together because of just how easily it happened. So yeah, but I know every number kind of choreographs differently. It just kind of, the type of dance, hip hop, tap, lyrical, contemporary, it depends on which one of how I'm going to go about it. But like she said, with this one that was lyrical, contemporary style, I really kind of honestly just let my body go and just go with it and see where it lands.
I love that. Yeah, that's like, tell your story, Ren. Is pretty much what we're trying to tell you. Is tell your story, because your story is just as important as anyone else's.
Thank you both. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Awesome, thank you guys. And I put the studio name in the chat. You might have to run up a little bit, which is on Facebook. You can check that out. Awesome. Cool. So thanks again. Next we have Anna, who is also a dancer.
Hello.
She's in New York.
Let me just get organized here. Hi, my name is Anna Hull. I am Carrie's daughter, one of her daughters. I also am a dancer like Lexi and Nolan. I am currently living and dancing in New York City. And for the piece that I have submitted is a part of a piece that I'm working on with the company that I dance for here in New York called Amanda Plus James. We are currently working on a project called Nightbirds in the Garden at the End of Time. And we were supposed to be on residency in upstate New York developing this piece right now, but our residency got canceled. So we did have time to develop some of the piece, and we're working with the compositions of the French composer Olivier Messiaen. And what's really interesting about him and why I chose to submit this for Earth Day in the Art Mojo is that a selection of his compositions were directly inspired by bird sounds. And he took a lot of inspiration from the way birds sing and communicate, and he took it as kind of like the most natural form of music and kind of like the closest to God that could be heard in nature. So he actually composed, he would go out and listen to birds and compose them for the piano and the violin. And the result of that was like very crazy sounds that are not quite as musical and beautiful that we're used to. So what we performed in early March at the Upper East Side for our gala performance. And we are working also with a violinist and a pianist who specializes in Messiaen's work. So what I'm going to show you now is a piece called Quartet for the End of Time. And it's a solo that I developed in process with the choreographer and the musicians. And this piece kind of touches on the idea of the end of time and animals, in how climate change affects different environments for animals and naturally, and kind of how they adapt and change with the changing environment. And there's also like an air of sadness to it as well, and how they are reacting to like the world as it changes. So now I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna share my screen with you. Okay, I hope this works. Can everybody see this? Cool. Okay, here we go. Okay, and I also wanted to share, let me think of how to do this. I wanted to share the costumes as well so that you could kind of get an idea of a more performance. And we had a costume designer that worked with us as well on creating our little bird costumes. And this is what our short performance looked like that we did at the beginning of March. So yeah, that is my submission.
Awesome, thank you. And I loved how, because we got a sneak peek yesterday, how the costumes are like recycled material and stuff. Yeah. Debbie, you have your hand raised.
I do. I'm just so like wowed by everything that I'm seeing here tonight. And I think your dancing is amazing. And I'm wondering, how many years have you danced?
Oh my gosh. I've danced for about
20.
20 years, yeah.
Wow. And
I started in Prescott. Also, I danced with Alexis. I started in Prescott when I was about 3 years old. And then I left when I was about 13 or 14 to go to boarding school in California for dance. And I also have my Bachelor of Fine Arts in Dance from Cornish College of the Arts in Seattle. So I've kind of just been everywhere, but yeah, 20 years dancing.
well, it shows. You're doing wonderfully with it. The other thing, I was just wondering, have you stuck with one particular type of dance, or have you explored other kinds of dance?
Yeah, I've done a little bit of, not everything, but I've explored a few different styles. I was trained classically in ballet. Um, and then throughout high school and college, I kind of explored modern, like traditional modern techniques like Graham and Horton and Limon. And then I primarily now focus on improvisation and contemporary dance.
So when you start with something that's improvisation, do you like listen to the music and see if you can picture movements, or do you just try to feel your way through it? Or
I kind of
what's
do
your
both. Like,
process?
so for the piece that I submitted here, was choreographed, but and I improvised it basically that day. So I was familiar with the music that we were using, but we set the music later. So basically, my director had given me a prompt. I think she said to focus on um, creating spirals, or like she kind of gave me some movements to focus on and shapes to create, and finding like length throughout different body parts. So I kind of took these ideas and improvised based off of those prompts, and then we set it to the music. So it kind of depends, but I do rely heavily on music sometimes, but a lot of it also comes from just like it just comes out of my body, and then I try to like recapture it.
Wow, excellent answer. Thank you. That's
Thank
inspiring.
you. Mhm.
Yeah, that was awesome. Any other questions for Anna?
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Soon you'll be able to leave the house when you get back to Arizona.
Dance again.
Awesome. Cool, thanks. So I just want to remind people that for the raffle prize at the end, just stick by, and your name will be entered for that. And Carrie showed us in the very beginning. If you popped in a little bit after that, it's some awesome artwork for outside. It says Living Planet, I believe. So yeah, just stick. There we go. Just a sneak peek. Cool. Carrie, what's the name, I should know this, of your store?
American Art Studio.
Cool. Awesome. All right, thank you. I'm introducing myself next because I draw sometimes and I wanted to do a little interactive. So I didn't give any kind of pre-warning, but if you have a paper and a writing utensil nearby, I prefer markers, but it can be any writing utensil. Or if you have a newer version of the iPhone, I'm not sure about other phones, there is an option to draw. So you could do that if you don't want to get up and get paper and you have your phone by you. But I'm going to make a Zentangle earth and show you guys how to do that. So I'm going to pull up a little PowerPoint thing that I created for a little bit of guide for that. Cool. I need to get out of my way. Nope. Nope. Sorry, guys. This thing keeps popping up. No, there we go. Okay, perfect. All right. So Zentangle is like a form of doodling, I would call it. I started out a while ago with like this little book, which is where I have taken the some of the like fillings from, and it's by Suzanne McNeil. It's pretty widely known, but I just wanted to credit the book that I used. So we're creating a Zentangle planet. So if everyone has their device or paper ready, draw or trace a circle. Doesn't have to be perfect, but if you want it to be, tracing our compass is a good option. And I only can see like 4 people at a time, so if one person gives me a thumbs up when they're good. Cool. Loosely drawing some continental forms. You can go as accurately as you desire, but I just roughly shaped sort of bigger flowy areas for me tend to work best for filling them in, but it's up to you. So, I can't see myself. Like a loose little planet. How are we looking? Cool. All right. So here's where I don't want you to get stressed out because we have incorporated this. You're gonna fill in the planet with different textures and examples. And so we don't want you to sit here doing this all day, right? So kind of get started, get your ideas. These are things to base off of. You can create your own, do more complex, more simple, whatever you want to fill it in with. I do each little section a different sort of texture, I'm going to call them. And so just get started, get an idea, and we're going to be able to continue while Nadir plays some music for us. He's going after me, so don't stress if you feel incomplete or if you want to make a new one while he's going. So you can, because for me, it's it feels really good when I'm in the process and drawing and like really feeling music. So we thought that might work nicely together. But these are some examples of the textures, and they can just sort of get you started. So I think you'll be able to see me. So this will be easier. You will have this on the screen, but this is like an example of one, if you can see. So like each continent is a little bit different. And it is just a little doodled Earth. Yay, go Earth Week. And I'll flip. And so that's what that one looks like. I'll just flip it back. Cool. So if anyone has any questions, you can go ahead and ask that. I'll give you guys a few minutes, but also keep in mind that you can finish up and keep going from there. This sort of laid the groundwork for me when I was younger to get ideas to take it away and expand on it, and create like more intricate stuff that flows a little bit differently. And yeah, so I thought I'd share it. And it's also a good, like the circle is a good way to fill it in with this doodle. So I hope you enjoy. It kind of goes along the lines of those like fill in the line notebooks. And that's why Suzanne McNeil called it Zentangle, because you can just kind of relax. You don't have to be super artistic or have really any like sketching or shading skills. You just embellish whatever sort of shape you want. In the future, you can do like squares, hearts, whatever you want. And it's just fun. Adorn your memos, your work stuff. And also, if you want like the step-by-steps for any of these, the textures, the designs, there are some in this book, and I'd be happy to hold it up to the screen.
What's the name of the book?
Zentangle Basics. I don't know if this will be mirrored.
Okay.
Pretty thin. Pretty fun. I didn't time myself. And I think cool. So I see a lot of heads down, which means we're drawing. But if Nadir, you are comfortable, and if there's no questions for me, we can open it up to you, and y'all feel free to continue. And if you want to share your work at the end, post it on social media. Use the hashtag Art for Earth. It's kind of an existing hashtag, as is Every Day is Earth Day. So keep spreading the love. And I'm gonna stop that and check this out.
Yeah, we can play one of the versions of the song, and then at the end I can introduce myself.
Cool.
Cool. Do you want me to play it? Sorry.
I was like, you're muted. I have
Okay,
it pulled up if you want me to play.
Sure.
Did you want me to play V1?
Yeah, V1's fine.
Cool. And this is off SoundCloud, with Nadir's name on there. I'll see if I can drop the link. Let me make sure my sound is playing. How does this sound?
Can't hear it.
Annie, do you want to share your sound?
Yeah.
It's true that all their love, blood, sweat, and tears made way for what you see today. And know that you're welcome to to this love. Love all around us. To this love. Love all around us. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. My goon told me this. Take a second to reminisce. You'll see you're more than what you thought you were before. And I know that you feel thumping inside. But do you realize that every one of us is with you as you walk? It will help you stand tall when you wanna crumble and fall. It's alright, just listen to it all. Listen to the love, love all around us. To this love, love all around us. Yeah. Pitter patter of the rain. Sometimes feel myself going insane. I can feel it inside. All the things that I hide from those I love. You are my dust, helping me reach peace. Thanks goes to y'all for all the deep swimming in the waters. It gets real turbid sometimes. Don't know what to do, how to disturb it. Make it everything I wanted, cause I deserve it. Don't forget, we need those memories. Roots that connect our trees. A forest that grows. Keep showing up. Take your time for healing and growth. If they love you, they support you glowing up. Insanity wasn't love night. Healing makes it grow like building gives you insight. And you know, I keep up the fight. So when you say you love me, I don't take it lightly. I hope you know I don't mean it lightly, cause it's love. Our love. Love all around us.
Cool. We can hear me, right? Awesome. So that was Nadir's song. He also released a few others also on his SoundCloud. They're meditations, and I'm going to let him go ahead and talk about them because they're really cool.
Hi, everybody. Again, my name is Nadir, and I'm a junior at Preston College. I have a kind of prepared statement, so sorry if I'm looking down. Anyways, I'm currently quarantining in Atlanta with my family, and I really love to make music, and I'm budding in the areas of film, photography, and some more art forms. Just getting started, really. And then one of my favorite things is experiencing life on such a beautiful planet as the Earth. I love living here, and I really appreciate getting the time to spend my life here. And since growing up in the South, I grew around a lot of vegetation, and I live kind of 30 minutes outside of the city proper, but it's still considered Atlanta. And I had a lot of fauna and flora around me, and just had a wonderful time going out into nature and always exploring it since I've been little. And that fixation on nature grew into an interest in ecology and designing with nature and helping to nature to regenerate itself in the areas where we've affected it negatively. And in my art and songs and other art forms, I try to use metaphors, similes, and references to nature and spiritual experiences to give depth to my music and to help people to feel certain things. And I wonder sometimes if the message truly gets to people, but I really like the idea of trusting your work, trusting what you have to say, and just putting it out there no matter what you think people are going to say, you know? And that's what I really appreciate about Lexi and Nolan, I think his name was. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. But what they said about dancing and just being yourself and bringing that to the art form, I think that's very important for any art you do. And I really felt what they were saying about that. Inside of my creative process, I'm still working out all the kinks and what all I'm into making. But each time that I try to do something, it really brings out something new and something unexpected that I didn't know I had inside. And it really helps me to process what's going on in my life and be able to be calm and cool when there's adversity or challenges present, but also be able to enjoy the good things that happen as well. And that song you just heard is called Love, Love All Around Us. And I released it on April 20th. And to be honest, I forgot about Earth Day. Don't hate on me though, I still love the Earth. It's just, when I wrote that song, I remember, one of the first lyrics is, I remember parties in the streets and warm summer nights. And that spoke to the block parties that my family used to have in Philadelphia and Atlanta. And we would always spend so much time together and eat good food and laugh and drink. But then also, I just always remember feeling so hugged and loved by the earth whenever we were outside just having a good time together. And that's probably like one of my favorite things, is having a good time together in the wilderness, in our surrounding, environment. And yeah, that's where a lot of what's the urge to create comes from, is celebrating this life that we all live on earth. So thank you. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Oh, wait, I almost forgot to plug this. Annie mentioned the guided meditations I made. So I tried this at a show I did at Preston College, and I shared a guided meditation I created, and people were really into it, surprisingly. And they came up to me and they were telling me how it really helped them to feel at peace and things. So I thought this would be a perfect time to create something like that. And I called it a guided meditation mixtape, because I tried to add some hip hop elements as well as R&B elements to it. And there's harmonies and me speaking, and there's also a surprise song that I accidentally made. I say accidentally because I accidentally looped a sample, and I was like, oh, I should make a hip hop kind of dance groove to it. And so I tried to do that, and hopefully you can dance to that last song that's on the EP. But I can put the link in the chat and you guys can check it out on your own time. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
So in form and pattern, how we went over like cynatics, I think, the frequencies.
Yes.
Have you considered incorporating those? Because I know there's an artist, I think it's G Jones, that always uses a certain hertz when he makes music, and some of the hertz have certain properties. I don't know. Has that come to mind, I guess?
Yeah, it has come to mind, and I would have to say that the programs I use, I'm using a very like entry-level kind of program to make music right now, just because of the access. Um, and a program I used to use, thank you. A program I used to use had that option so I could see all the hertz and things and edit that. But most of the time, I try to keep it within sounds that sound like the sun. I don't know if that makes sense, but just sound really like if you listen to people like Earth, Wind, and Fire and Stevie Wonder and some other folks that have created music that sounds like the sun, like it sounds like light. It sounds really peaceful, but also you can maybe if it's a dance song, you can dance to it. If it's a sad song, you can still like be sad to that, but it feels healing in a way. You know what I mean? And I try to recreate those type of feelings with the music. So it brings people peace through the easing through the process of dealing, not dealing, but healing and getting close to your emotions and being able to digest those things in yourself and really learn more about you as you listen and as you reflect on the lyrics.
Awesome.
Thank you everyone for the compliments in the chat. I really appreciate it.
And I was at the concert. We'll call it a concert. At he did, and so he did a few songs and a meditation as well. And even if you are like a meditation expert and can totally do the like peace and quiet and just like zone in, shake it up and listen to it, because if you're kind of like entering meditation or you're curious about it, this is like a great way that's not like close your eyes, sit up straight, and just like clear your thoughts. They're kind of engaging and you end up feeling really good after them. So I do recommend. Cool.
Yep, just put the links in the chat if you want to check it out.
Awesome. Cool. So Nadir is our last participant today. Oh, Debbie has her hand raised.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Nadir how long he's been singing professionally.
Oh, you called me a professional. Thank you.
Well, you sound like a professional to me.
I guess I should take it seriously then. But I took a couple lessons. Well, let me say I started with I guess I can go back to when I started singing. But when my family was going to church, I always remember all the music and things, and that was really beautiful. I never participated. And then when I got into 4th grade, I decided to join the chorus at my school, and that changed my whole perspective on music and really brought it like it felt tangible to me, like I could participate in it, and I didn't think I could before. And so slowly, as I went through middle school to high school, and eventually to college, I just took steps along my life journey to get more and more involved in music and really understand how it touches me personally. And in my senior year, I took voice lessons that my dad paid for. Thank you, Dad. And that really helped me to trust my voice more. And I just been singing every day and kind of getting closer to this musical voice that's within me and trying to share that in the best way possible. Thanks for that question.
Yeah, can I ask a follow-up question to that? So it sounds like from a really early age, you kind of knew that you had a voice that you could share. And I'm wondering if the confidence that singing brought to you, if you think that affected other things in your life to give you confidence to try other things.
Wow, this is getting deeper than I thought it would, but thank you for these questions, for real. I feel that art and just expressive things always kind of, like I always feel drawn to them, and I always wanted to do them, but there were certain times where I felt in my life that I felt I wasn't able to do them. And when I actually tried, and there's usually like some person that was like, actually you can do this well, and you haven't done it before. And I was like, oh, really? And so it's been a lot of people in my life who have helped me to see that I can do it, and in ways that as I've grown, I've realized like I was depending on those voices too much. And so it's really been about me being able to trust myself and take that first step by myself. And as I've done that in more areas of my life, the more confident I become in my whole person, but also in those specific areas.
Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah, thank you for your questions.
Nadir, what are you studying in college?
My degree is called it's in the Sustainable Community Design program, and it's specifically regenerative ecological design. And I kind of mentioned it when I was opening, but I basically just learning ecology and how to regenerate the natural environment, where you're trying to work with that site and design with nature instead of trying to dominate it.
Right. I'll have to get your contact information, and when the food choice and land use team gets together, we'll be working on permaculture and regeneration of the land. And so I think that you could contribute to that. It'd be awesome.
Awesome. I would love to be part. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So if anyone has any questions for Nadir, but also any of the artists tonight, we have a few minutes to go back over. Check the chat box again for the information that the artists dropped, like Nadir's SoundCloud and Lexi and Nolan's dance studio, which I would love to dance. And thanks all for attending. In a few minutes, I'm gonna ask if everyone can just quickly hold up their drawing, and we'll get a screenshot from the recording to sort of like just have a collective, everyone's little pictures. Cool.
What was the second hashtag again?
Every day is Earth Day. These are awesome, you guys.
Anna, where's yours, Anna?
Look at that.
There's no judgment. This is beautiful.
No, these are super cool.
You got to hold it up, Anna, so we can get a screenshot.
I just got a new pen today. Woo.
Yeah, nice and metallic.
Wow. Ren, stop it right now. That's amazing.
These are awesome.
Oh.
Annie, another spectacular event for Earth Week. You have 20 people on here. That's amazing.
Yeah, and we've had some rotations. That's awesome, Rita. Yes, Debbie, go ahead and do you want to speak?
Yeah, I do. Actually, so I don't know if anyone has seen this book. I'm gonna hold it up.
Put it closer. Up a little bit.
Well, you know what? If I share what I share, you'll get it better.
Yeah,
It's called The Overstory by Richard Powers. And my art project is not complete, but you inspired me when I saw Carrie the other day. She was like, come do the Art Mojo thing, and you don't have to have something, but you can have something. And so anyway, I was reading the book, The Overstory by Richard Powers. And so my project is a graphic storyboard showing the main ideas from the book. And the main idea is all about trees. And trees have been on the earth for hundreds of millions of years before humans were ever here. And ever since Earth figured out how to make lignin so that trees could grow tall. When humans came to North America, to the North American continent, there were a lot of trees here that were over 3,000 years old. This is a work of fiction, but it has a lot of facts about trees interlaced in the story. It's about 9 characters who know the importance of trees on the earth and 5 of them who became environmental activists trying to save them. So I tried to put this novel into a picture, and I'm going to try and share that.
Cool. I had heard about that book before. It's on my like read list. So now I'll read it.
Yeah, so this is my storyboard that I've started. You can see it has the title of the, and I'm drawing the sort of a scene from the cover. Then this is what happened when they clear cut the forest. This happens to be a redwood forest. These are the 9 characters. This is a super interesting character who fell out of a tree when he was a kid and got paralyzed, and he starts this amazing computer company that has gaming called Sempervirons, which is kind of interesting because that's part of the scientific name for redwoods. And he goes through a process of using computers to do a million gazillion realizations, and he comes up with it. Sustainability is what we should be seeking, because every other method that he used of having the game, you had to have an endless amount of space. So this is Mimos, a view from the top of a redwood tree that I haven't gotten finished yet. This is after Mimos is cut down. And this is 200 years later, and this gentleman put this in the woods. You could still see it if you get the meaning of that. So I just wanted to share that. If you're thinking about a good Earth Day kind of book to read, I would suggest it. So that's all I had to share.
That's awesome. Thank you. That's super cool. And that's a good way to like synthesize a book as well. I don't think I've done that, but it's definitely a good idea. Anybody else want to share anything? Want to share their piece? Have any questions? Anything at all before we close it up for the night?
Don't forget my raffle, Annie.
Oh, duh. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm
Okay,
not rushing anything.
Busy here trying to get everybody's names in a bowl.
Oh, the lucky winner.
So after everybody is, done with their comments or feedback, and once I draw, then you can share a private message to me, your address, and I will get you the piece. Now I really feel like we need to have some music, Nadir.
Okay, I can play the last song.
Play us out, Nadir. I mean, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
1 second.
Yeah, we tried to do that and be able to talk over it. Do you think that's possible? Is everybody done? I'm ready to draw. I'm going to go ahead and do the drawing.
Yeah.
Danny, do I have your permission?
Go ahead.
I didn't put myself in it, or my daughter. Okay, the winner is of the Naked Earth Mantra Totem Living Earth with the sun design is, I hope she's still here, Lori. We lost a few people, so let's see. Is Lori still here?
Does it count if her daughter is here?
Well, it's Lori Co. I don't know how to say her.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
You just can't see me.
I see. Well, were you able to see the mantra totem?
Which one was that?
It was.
I came in a little late.
No problem. I'll show it to you when we're done with the sharing of the music again. Hey, can you private message me your address and I'm going to mail it to you? It has a $48 value.
Sure.
Lucky winner.
Yeah, congratulations. Thanks for coming tonight. Yeah.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
I'll test and see if we can talk.
Can you hear it?
No.
No. You'll did you hit at the bottom when you started screen sharing share computer sound?
Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, let me do it again.
That's like the key.
Yeah. We're professional Zoomers here, Nadir. You're in good hands.
Thank you.
No, you.
Now you can hear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Background music.
When the sun touches my skin,
Let me turn it.
when the wind blows through the trees, when the rain creates rivers in my backyard. The scents, these places, their patience, all waiting for the day they give me these feels. Feels, 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 feels. 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 Feels, 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 feels. 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 wasn't gonna write a story for this song. I know you feel like to get this out. Trust and manifest in a melody in my heart. Moon staring in the eye, what she'd find. I lay on my back, floating to the sky. It's always the same. Wherever I've been, maybe wherever I go, it will always be the same.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah, an awesome farewell. Leave us out with good energy.
So I was just exchanging addresses with Lori, and she's from Massachusetts. So I said, my husband's from East Hampton, Massachusetts. And she said, no, that was just me. I thought she said that my husband was from there too. Okay, it's fine. I wasn't reading it right, but at least I caught myself.
Yeah, I just looked it up on the map. It's pretty far away from where I am in Mass.
Oh, are you? That's Western.
Yeah, I'm more, yeah, I live in a really small town. It borders New Hampshire.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
More east.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's hard to explain. About an
Yeah, we have
hour
family
north of Boston.
Family in New Hampshire as well. So cool. Well, congratulations. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your questions and engagement and your eyes. Remember to tag any work if you want to share that. And every day is Earth Day. And have a good night. Have a good weekend, actually. It's Friday. Woo!
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
And thank you, artists, so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Sedona. Background tech work.
Woo!
Excellent.
Shout out to Carrie, too. And the planning team, Anna. Cool.
Thanks, Lexi. Bye, everybody.
Have a nice weekend. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, twins. We can't hear you, Deb.
Are we the only ones left?
Yeah.
Annie, that was